All right, of course, that leads me to my main purpose up here, which is to talk about and introduce Dr. Vicki Phillips and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, our honoree tonight. Dr. Phillips became director of the Gates Foundation's U.S. Education Initiative 2 years ago. And one of the main goals of that initiative is exactly the kind of gap that we've been talking about, to enhance the ability of kids graduating from high school to have the skills to go to the next level. That obviously resonated with us. Dr. Phillips' resume reads education. She not only has a doctorate in education, but she's been in the classroom. She's taught at the middle school level. She's taught at the high school level. She's worked at the federal level here in Washington, D.C. She's worked at the state level. She was Secretary of Education under Governor Rendell in Pennsylvania. She went on from there to be the Superintendent of Public Schools in Portland, Oregon, where she was very successful, and then recently came to Gates. I would say, though, her most redeeming quality is the fact that she's from the great state of Kentucky. And I have, from my spies, evidence that she's known to friends and foe alike as Hurricane Phillips. Why is that? For her passion, her sense of urgency, and, quote, a limited tolerance for continuing to admire the problem. You can see why she's at Gates, and you can see why she's our honoree tonight, on behalf of Gates, the Global Education Award. Let's welcome Dr. Vicki Phillips.
Good evening, and thank you so much for honoring our work and our commitment to young people, and thank you so much for your commitment as well. I actually want to say thank you on a couple of fronts tonight. One is certainly professionally that we do at the foundation, and for your honoring not only us, but some of our great partners in this work. We are huge fans and supporters of Michelle and the work here in DC, and of the work that you've done in particular in this city as elsewhere with students and teachers. At the foundation last year, we sort of took a hard look at the work we'd done over the last 8 years and plotted out our next few years and our next few years of investment, and really renewed our commitment to this notion that all kids need to leave high school prepared for post-secondary success and prepared to be in a global world. And as part of that, making sure that not only are our kids successful, but that those who stand in front of them are every day as well. So a lot of work and focus on what it means to put an effective teacher in every classroom. So we thank you not just for honoring us, but for the work that you're doing every single day in that regard as well. And our third piece of work is all about how do we spur innovation in this country, and how do we support some of those great, courageous leaders, from the young teachers that are in this room with the KIPP Academy to people like Michelle, who are doing the hard work and putting themselves out there every day with a level of courage and commitment that is in many cases unprecedented and meets great challenge, but they never waver from the path. And we think this council for consistently and persistently sharing that commitment. I also just want to say that in addition to thanking you personally for this honor of the foundation and honor of the foundation, I want to thank you also personally. I actually grew up not just in Kentucky, but in a little place called Falls of Rough, Kentucky. Grew up in a high poverty area where the expectations for me to go to college really weren't present at all in my household, and certainly weren't even present in my school when they figured out how impoverished I was. So my opportunity to go to college came to me a lot by luck, not by design. And I have this voracious commitment to making sure, it's largely part of why I'm at the foundation, that all kids get that opportunity through really intentional work and service like this group and many others across the country are engaged in. And as someone who just came off a long international flight, having been with an international group of colleagues globally across the world talking about the importance of education, I think back on my own experience and what a difference one or two people made in my life. So what I ask you to do tonight is not only to think about what you do collectively as people, but what you do individually every day, because you never know when and where it might show up. And at the moment, it shows up in spades at the Gates Foundation, and we thank you so much for being part of this enormous commitment to kids in our country and to kids elsewhere, and to making sure that they can truly walk forward as global citizens.